There was a time when traveling by car was not a symbol of freedom, but almost an act of faith. France, at the end of the 19th century. Across the entire country, there were only around 3,000 automobiles. Loud, fragile, unpredictable machines moving across roads that were never designed for them. There were no proper service stations, no reliable maps, no real infrastructure. Driving wasn't comfortable. It was uncertain. And in that world, one of the smartest ideas in history quietly began. Two brothers, André and Édouard Michelin, founders of the Michelin company, faced a simple but brutal problem. They were selling tires, but almost no one needed them, because almost no one was driving. And without use, there is no wear. And without wear, there is no business. But instead of trying to sell more tires directly, they chose something far more subtle. They decided to change human behavior. In the year 1900, they created the first Michelin guide. It was not a luxury product. It was practical, almost humble. A small red book filled with maps, mechanics, instructions, places to refuel, places to sleep, and eventually places to eat. But the real purpose was not information. It was movement. The guide did not sell destinations. It created the desire to travel. It quietly encouraged people to leave, to explore, to go further than necessary. And the more they traveled, the more their tires wore out. Simple and brilliant. But Michelin understood something else as well. Not just movement, but image. In 1898, one of the most recognizable figures in modern history was born. The Michelin Man. His real name is Bibendum. The idea came when André Michelin noticed a stack of tires at an exhibition and remarked that with arms, it could look like a person. From that moment, the illustrator Marius Rossillon, known as Au Galop, transformed the concept into a character. Bibendum was made entirely of tires, and he was white not by accident. At that time, tires were not black. They had a pale greyish tone because carbon black had not yet been introduced into rubber production. The colour we associate with modern tires came later. Bibendum is, in a way, a fossil of that early era. His name comes from a Latin phrase, nunc est bibendum, meaning now is the time to drink. In early advertisements, he was shown raising a glass filled with nails and broken glass, symbolizing that Michelin tires could drink the obstacles of the road. But the story of Bibendum holds details that few people know. In his earliest versions, he was not the friendly character we see today. He was more serious, even imposing. He appeared smoking cigars, raising his glass, projecting strength and durability. Over time, that image changed. As driving became more accessible, Bibendum also evolved. He became friendlier, more approachable, more human. Because Michelin was no longer speaking only to adventurers. It was speaking to everyone. And there is something even more important. Bibendum was everywhere. In the early 20th century, he appeared on posters, signs, maps, garages, advertisements, constantly accompanying the traveller. You were driving and there he was. You stopped and there he was. You looked around and there he appeared again. It was one of the earliest examples of massive brand presence, and it created something powerful, trust. In a world full of uncertainty, seeing the same figure again and again made it feel as if someone had already traveled that road before you. And although many people don't realize it, in some early illustrations, Bibendum appeared in everyday scenes, sometimes even alongside animals like dogs. Not because there was an official mascot or a named companion, but because it made him feel more human, more familiar, more present. Meanwhile, the guide continued to evolve. In 1920, it was no longer free. The Michelin brothers understood something fundamental. People value what they pay for. And in 1926, the first Michelin star was introduced. At first, just one. Later, 2 and then 3. A system that would redefine gastronomy. 1 star, worth a stop. 2 stars, worth a detour. 3 stars, worth the journey. And that is the key. The guide was never only about food. It was about movement, about making someone change their path for an experience. Over time, the Michelin Guide became a global authority. Anonymous inspectors, strict criteria, decisions capable of transforming a chef's life or quietly ending it. All of it born from a strategy to sell tires. But there is another side to this story, a quieter, more uncomfortable one. Michelin inspectors remain anonymous. They visit restaurants without being recognized. They pay for their meals. They observe everything. And their decisions carry real weight. A single star can fill a restaurant for years, but losing it can be devastating. Some chefs have described the pressure as unbearable. Endless hours, obsession with perfection, the constant fear of losing everything. In some cases, restaurants have closed after losing a star, and there have even been tragic stories linked to that pressure. Because when recognition defines your identity, losing it can feel like disappearing. And this is where the story changes. What began as a brilliant idea became a system of influence. A system that does not only guide travelers, but quietly decides who is remembered and who is not. And still, we trust it. We travel. We choose. We stop, believing those decisions are ours. But perhaps without realizing it, we are still following a path designed more than a century ago, not to guide us, but to keep us moving. And it all began with a tire. If you enjoy our channel and love discovering stories like this, don't forget to like and subscribe to keep exploring the hidden stories behind everyday things.